Good afternoon. We're going to call the meeting to order. Here's our land acknowledgement statement. We acknowledge that the ground on which we live is the traditional territory of Caldwell First Nation, of the Three Fires Confederacy, and the original people of Point Pelee and Pelee Island and its surrounding lands and waters, and that of the Huron-Wendat and Wyandot peoples. We recognize and respect the First Nations who are stewards of the land and waters of Turtle Island and who have embraced this stewardship since time immemorial. We would also like to acknowledge the contributions of other nearby First Nation communities and all Aboriginal people across Turtle Island. Members of Council, any disclosures of a pecuniary interest? There being none, if we can get an adoption of the minutes of our Parks and Rec and Events Committee meeting dated August 27th, 2024. Moved by Councillor Richo-Spagnolo, support Councillor Burns. All in favor? And that carries. Item 1 for our items for consideration is the 2024 summer session report of joint programs and events between Culture and Rec and Public Works. And I'll have the manager of Culture and Rec, Mr. Bison.
Thank you, Your Worship, and members of Council. This report is just a regular report that we bring each Parks, Recreation, and Events Committee meeting that highlights the activities from the previous session. As the Mayor noted, this session's report is regarding summer 2024, so July 1st to August 31st. Just to start, when we talk about facilities, as many of you are aware, each summer we are taking one ice pad out, alternating each year. The facilities division does a great job. This year we took out Rink A. They have to get the ice out mid-May, have a bunch of work they get done over the 8-week period before turning the plant back on to make sure we have rentals starting on Tuesday right after the civic holiday. And they do a variety of maintenance, whether it be cleaning the boards, the glass, painting, deep cleaning, and several repairs throughout the space that are harder to get to during the ice season. But I wanted to also highlight the staff, the FO team did a great job and took a little bit of onus on themselves to add a little touch this year when they put the ice back in on Rink A. They made a stencil of Le Griffon and added that to the red line all the way across. So a nice little LaSalle touch when they put the ice back in. But they do a great job of getting everything back up and running quickly and the ice rentals back occurring right after the civic holiday. On the park side, we had a really strong season this year. We did have 8 cancellations due to weather that I counted going back through the data, and the staff did a great job because it could have been more. We had quite a bit of rain in August, and we had a really strong sports field season, so we appreciate all the work that Parks does to make sure that the people renting our soccer and baseball diamonds can get on them as much as possible. I won't go through all the details on the culture and recreation side, but maybe a few highlights. On the aquatic side, we did have 160 less participants than we had last summer. But in looking and working with Julie, our supervisor of programming, the reduction was entirely non-residents, basically. So the number of residents continues to be strong in our programs. And when we talked a little bit more and investigated a little bit more broadly, we found the city offered more outdoor pool facilities this summer than they did the previous summer, and more programming opportunities. So certainly some non-residents maybe that were using our pool last summer for swimming lessons were able to stay home in their community maybe this past summer. One really positive thing that we saw at the outdoor pool as well was we worked with sponsors to provide free outdoor pool swimming each day, and that number grew by 1,300 participants. So last year we had 2,400 people take advantage of those free swims daily. This year it was 3,700. So that's a great service that we provide the public, especially for those who don't have their own backyard pool. When it's hot, it's a great place to cool down and have fun with their families. So on the summer day camp side, it's been pretty consistent. It was the same last couple summers that we really are out of space with regards to day camp, and in the first day of registration, almost all of the spaces are filled. We did bring a change to the policy for refunds and cancellations earlier this year, I believe it was. And what we noted last summer was people were providing really last-minute cancellations. So we brought forward a change to council, which was approved, that sort of asked the participants to give us more notice so that we could go to that lengthy wait list we have and make sure we fill the spots. That was very effective. We saw an increase of 537 camper days over the previous year. which was great. And in our 4 to 5, 6 to 7 age group, we're seeing basically it's 99% capacity. And so we're filling all those spots. So we are glad that Julie and her team and Owen and his team worked collaboratively to look at last year and to figure out, hey, we can make these adjustments to our policy so that we can make sure that we're getting enough notice to the customer who was on the wait list to get into camp. And it was obviously pretty successful. Now, we still have a very, very long wait list. We have over 700 participants waitlisted this past summer, and we were able to get nearly 200 in, but that's only like a quarter, right? So we're happy that we made that improvement. We'll continue to try to make sure that we fill as many spots as we possibly can, but we are sort of at the capacity for camp. Memberships were consistent, not a lot to say there, other than that we see month over month more and more joining the facility, which is fantastic. On the facility usage or rental side, soccer bookings were well up, and that's all attributed to the Stompers organization having a greater demand for fields and us being able to fulfill that for them. And on the event delivery side, of course, we do our 2 town events in July and August, the night markets at the end of each month. But we also were able to facilitate 2 more third-party events this summer. So we had 12 major third-party events in July and August, and those took place over 18 days, event days. So that was an increase of 3 days. So we're seeing the events continue to increase, and those occur some at the Vollmer and some at the event center. And they vary between, baseball tournaments and soccer tournaments at the Vollmer to third-party gatherings at the event center. And we, of course, have our large Unifor picnic and Green Shield picnics at the Vollmer as well. I'm available for any questions.
Thank you very much. Members of council, any questions or comments on the report? Only one I have, it's not really, I guess, a question, maybe a comment, is I noticed it said the diamond booking were down, but was probably more due to rain. Do you think we're also struggling with filling those hours? And I shouldn't say struggling, because I actually don't know how many are left vacant through the year. Because we don't have the ability with lights to offer night games or tournaments. Is that something we're considering with our master study? What is it we're doing right now? That master plan.
Yeah, so I think the field usage for baseball was pretty much what we expected, and certainly the small reduction was because of the 8 rainout dates. And I have, we have provided that comment to the consultant through the start of the engagement process that lighting would be something to look at to increase the capacity in the fields we have. And I think that there's probably some user groups or some people in the community who would agree with that. But with regards to this summer, I think baseball diamond usage was exactly where we expected to be, and it was just the rainouts that had it slightly lower.
So when you say where it's expected to be, is that how fully booked are we? I know it's probably not the easiest number to throw out. Like, are we, still 80% booked? Are we of, usable hours, I guess, but you don't have to give it to me now. Maybe even in an email after is fine. I just wonder if that's something that maybe we need to move to the top in our study right now, because I'm hearing more from the community that they really want to use those diamonds to be able to host some of the bigger tournaments and to have night games, and they're talking for all ages. So, and I know we've talked about it several times, we just haven't had the budget for it. So just wondering if that's something we should be moving to the top.
So I think there's some capacity on the baseball diamonds, but it's always interesting when you look at available hours between booked hours is hours might be available, but they might not be desirable, right? So I think if you're looking at available hours and we kind of look at, field by field as we've been sending this data to the consultants for the master plan, it might look like they're 40 or 50% booked, but they're desirable hours too, right? So we might have Saturday morning and Sunday morning baseball, and the mornings are full and people are on the diamonds, and you could rent throughout the day, all day Saturday and Sunday, but it might not be desirable to the groups currently. So I think that when you look at what people are looking to book, there's not a lot of available time at the Vollmer, but if they moved outside of their most desired times, there would be available time, if that makes sense.
No, I appreciate that. I've been hearing it a little bit more recently, and I think that's just because some of the organizations are starting to look to next year for some tournaments. And they've mentioned other municipalities around us that do have lighting and just kind of commented that they wish the Vollmer did.
Sort of, maybe just add one thing. I think that if we're looking at the youth organizations and the minor league baseball, I think the lighting would help them, not necessarily for their own leagues, but allowing us to push maybe adult groups later that frees up time for them earlier.
Okay, thank you very much. No other questions? There's a recommendation that the report of the Manager of Culture and Rec dated November 8th, 2024 regarding the summer 2024 programming session be received. Moved by Councillor Carrick, support by Councillor Reno. All in favor? Carries. Item 2, updated agreement with Windsor Model Yacht Club. Our Supervisor of Recreation, Owen Stichler.
Thank you, Your Worship. This report will be significantly shorter than the last one, but just the report before you is an updated agreement with the Windsor Model Yacht Club. So we currently have an agreement with them that has expired, and we're looking to renew with all the same terms on a 5-year renewal. And I'm available for any questions about the Windsor Model Yacht Club or the report. Thank you.
Thank you. Members of council, questions? Councillor Burns?
Do we charge them anything? Like,
No.
I know we have a new agreement, but it doesn't say anything about dollars and cents.
We do not charge the Windsor Model Yacht Club. They use the retention pond facilities for free at the Vollmer.
Any other questions or comments? There being none, recommendations that the report of the Supervisor of Recreation dated September 19th, 2024 regarding the updated facility user group agreement for Windsor Model Yacht Club be received, and that council enters into a new agreement with Windsor Model Yacht Club and authorizes the mayor and clerk to execute the agreement. Moved by Councillor Richo Spagnolo, support by Councillor Reno. All in favor? And that is carried. Any questions or statements from members of the committee? Councillor Burns and then Councillor Richo Spagnolo.
Being that I'm the oldest guy here, I find it hard to go into the Vollmer and walk up those stairs. At some point, are we going to put railings in there? And if so, when? Because I think there's a lot of seniors who use that, like myself, once in a while, and we need something to hang on to. So whoever can answer that, I would greatly appreciate it.
Just for clarification, you're talking about rink A, walking up?
Yes, the main one where the Vipers play.
Okay, so I know we've had several questions on this over the years, so I'm sure there is an answer.
Yes, thank you for the question. We have had that question before in request before. I believe when we look at the width of the stairwell, though, adding a railing would be problematic from that standpoint. What we do is encourage those, when you kind of go into the arena from the hallway, back hallway side, is to encourage those that don't feel comfortable going up the stairs to kind of go down or sit kind of close to where you kind of enter the arena area. But yeah, we have looked at it, and the width of that stairwell is kind of the confining factor of adding a stairwell would not make that wide enough for up and down access.
Most of them that I've been in, they just have one in the middle. You mean it's not wide enough to put one in the middle for both sides?
I believe that's correct. We could look at it in a little more detail, but I believe we've had that assessment done to come to that conclusion, but we can confirm that for you.
Thank you. If we're going to do that, maybe we could also look at other types of options. Maybe, I don't know if there's things you can attach to the seats as you go down to have something, just another way of gripping as we're walking down. It's something we do here, Viper season mainly, but we do get several complaints through the year there where they feel like they're not comfortable getting up or down those stairs. So. Councillor Richo Spagnolo.
Thank you. So this is just going to Patty and your team over there. I was at the Vollmer the last 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, for the Hometown Heroes hockey tournament. Spoke to some families from Kent and the GTA area, A lot of fantastic feedback, so I just wanted to provide that with you, or to you. Really liked the amenities, liked the fact that we had our own little skate sharpening area. They liked the fact that they felt safe with security there. They really thought it was very, very clean. And they were actually, one gentleman was showing me pictures of their local arena, no comparison. So I just wanted to applaud the team over there on really making the Vollmer and the town of LaSalle look really representable and nice and clean. And it's just something that I just wanted to note, because it's nice to hear the positives. So good job to all of you.
Any other questions or statements? Just a short one, just a congratulations to all the team on the lights that have been put up at Town Hall, but across town. It looks beautiful, and we're hearing those positive comments, which is really nice to get this time of year. So congratulations. I know it's a lot of work in a short period of time to get those up. So thank you guys very much. And it was well attended on Friday. It was a little chilly. The wind didn't cooperate with us, but that's okay. It was a really nice event. So thank you guys very much, and look forward to the next few weekends. So if there's no other questions, nothing, our next meeting will be held February 25th, 2025. Meeting's adjourned.